Okay, now you're going to be using the sum difference and you're working backwards or the reverse process. So notice what we have. We have sine of A times cosine of B plus cosine of A sine of B. Well, if you look at your identity sheet, it's that identity. Well, that's the sum, the sum identity. And if you look, sine of A plus B is equal to all of this stuff. Well, that sine of A plus B started off originally as a sine of theta, and then you broke it down into an A and B, and then into the identity. So we're just working backwards. So we're going to take these things right here, and we're going to put it in that form right there. So it's sine of pi ninths plus sine of A plus B, sine pi ninths plus 7 pi 18ths. And then remember, in order to add fractions, you need to have the same denominator. So I would multiply top and bottom by 2. And then we have 2 pi 18ths plus 7 pi 18ths. So now you add the fractions. 9 pi 18ths. Well, look at 9 over 18. 9 goes into 9 once. 9 goes into 18 twice. So now you have sine of pi halves. And when you look at the unit circle at pi halves, what is the y value or the sine value? It is 1. So that's what you're doing there. You're just working the reverse process. Okay. So now the cosine process on the next problem we're going to be doing, if you have cosine times cosine plus sine times sine, whatever this operator right here is, you're going to use the opposite operator when you work in reverse. And then you're going to have cosine of theta is equal to a value. So let me go ahead and, darn it, I might see if I can bring all this stuff in front. There we go. Then I can put this stuff over here. All right. So now we have cosine of 2 pi ninths times cosine of pi 18ths plus sine 2 pi ninths sine pi 18ths. So cosine times cosine plus sine times sine. You've got your A's and B's, and now we're going to work all of that in reverse. Get that out of the way. Whoops. So cosine of A, 2 pi ninths, subtract, remember, use the opposite sign, subtract pi 18ths, and we remember we use opposite sign because that's what the identity says. And then they need to have the same denominator, so multiply the numerator and denominator by 2. We have 4 pi 18ths, subtract pi 18ths, which is 4 subtract 1 is 3. Well, the 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 18 6 times. So now we have cosine of pi 6. And if you look right here on the unit circle, what is the cosine value at pi 6? It is positive root 3 over 2. All right, we're going to go ahead and do a tangent one also. So here's the progression. The progression is if you've got tangent A, really plus or minus, but in this case we have a subtract, tangent B, over, you use the opposite sign here, 1 plus tangent A, tangent B. And when the subtract is here, it originally started off as tangent A subtract tangent B. Well, that started off as a tangent theta, And when we know tangent theta, we can go ahead and put our value. All right, so our A is 430 degrees, our B is 205. When you subtract those, you get 225 degrees. And at 225 degrees, look at what we have. We have this opposite number over tangent is opposite over adjacent. Well, those two are identical. Any number divide itself is 1. All right, that's it on the sum difference identities progressing backwards.